If you're someone who's just getting into the programming industry and you're having trouble finding where you fit in and what you need to do, listen very closely. This video is going to help you take you from knowing nothing about code to understanding and having a solid foundation on which roadmap and path you need to go down. So when you're just starting out with coding, it's often difficult to understand what you need to learn. There's so many things out there. There's all different kinds of languages, frameworks, different people saying different things, and overall it's just a confusing experience. Here's the first thing I want you to do. Ask yourself what your goal is with programming. Are you looking to make a lot of money and get into the job market quickly? Or are you looking just to be a hobbyist and build things and try out different things? This is going to determine which direction you're going to go down. A lot of people who like to be hobbyists, they like to lean more towards stuff like game development, dabbling in languages and things along those lines. And we can be less strict on those people. Now, if you're someone who's looking to get into the job market and actually make a career out of programming, that's when things get a little bit more complex. Let's start with the path you need to go down. We recommend for most people who are just getting into programming that are looking to make a career transition that they get into the field of web development. This is because web development has so many great benefits, and it's so much easier to learn a field like web development and make money in that field, and it takes a lot less time than it would to be learning something like iOS development or mobile app development or making money in game development or machine learning or robotics and things along those lines. Web development just has such an easier barrier of entry, and a lot of the things that you're learning aren't going to be as complex as they would be in other fields. And also, you're going to be able to make a great salary in web development. At DevSlopes, our students who go in and land jobs, they have starting salaries at around $80,000 a year. That's in the US. And it only goes up from there. So now we know web development is a great path, but what does that path actually look like? How are you going to be spending your time, and what are some advice and tips for you as you're going through this journey? You're going to start out with HTML and CSS. These are the foundation, these are the building blocks of code. It's the walls, it's the floor, it's the ceiling. Literally, that's all HTML is. It's the building blocks for your house. Then you have CSS. CSS is the styling. It's what makes the house look nice and pretty. It's the color of the walls, what type of ceiling you have, hardwood or carpet floors. It's what makes a house look nice. You're going to be spending a lot of time in HTML and CSS because while these are not actually technically called programming languages, they are in every single website on the internet. Once you learn that, you're going to move over to JavaScript. Now, JavaScript is going to be your bread and butter in web development, and it's where you're going to be spending most of your time if you're someone new and learning how to code. JavaScript, for our house analogy, is like the functionality of a house. It's what makes a house a house. It's the thermostat, the washer and dryer, the water heater. When you flip on the light switch and the lights come on, it's everything that makes a house a house. And in your website, it's what makes a website a website. JavaScript is widely used amongst web developers and is still the remaining top language on the internet right now. So that's where you're going to be spending a lot of your time. Once you learn JavaScript, then you're going to move on to a framework. And the framework you're going to want to learn is React. React as a framework is amazing because it's not as difficult as some of the other frameworks out there like Angular, for example. And it's also very in high demand. So a lot of people will say, well, why don't I just learn Vue.js? It's a little bit easier than React. Vue.js isn't in as demand as React is. Most React developer salaries can sit around average $120,000 a year. That's a lot of money. In fact, that's the sole reason why we teach our students at DevSlopes React, because they're able to make that much money and it's in such high demand. And why would you want to learn anything other than what the industry is calling for? React and JavaScript go hand in hand. So you're going to be spending a lot of time there. Now, keep in mind, once you get to the JavaScript section of your learning, you're able to start applying for freelance projects. Why is that important? You see, if you're someone who's going the self-taught route, you need something to help stand you out from the crowd. People come in with, bachelor's computer science degrees. People will come with maybe, extra knowledge, but you're someone who has no knowledge in the field. You have no experience, and all you have is learning these languages. The way you stand out is by having paid freelance work on your portfolio to show employers, hey, I got paid to do code. This is going to help stand you out from the crowd. And this is exactly what we do with our students. We walk them through on how to find 3 to 5 paid freelance projects. In fact, we even pay them to do freelance projects that we find for them so that they can put it on their resume as paid work. Now, while you're doing these freelance projects, you need to be actively learning still things like React. Keep in mind also, as you're learning React, it's time to start applying for jobs. That's why having these freelance portfolio projects is so crucial. I know it sounds like all this is happening at the same time, but it's very important that you're actively applying for jobs, you're actively looking for freelance projects to put on your portfolio, and you're actively learning. Now, I'm going to recommend that you don't focus on really any back-end stuff. Yes, you're going to use Node.js, and you need to have a solid understanding of how databases work, but back-end really needs to come later. That's why if you're someone new getting into programming and you're looking to get a job quickly, it's not really okay to fiddle around with other languages and technologies. You need to stay focused on your path, and front end needs to be that path. So stick to the front end first, and then maybe once you get a job, you can start migrating and learning more of back end stuff. Because on the job, you're not really going to be doing a lot of back end work, and they don't give that work to junior developers anyway. So stick to front end, and then once you get the job, you can start slowly migrating towards back end, if that's where your passion lies. It's all about getting you to a job quickly. That way you can start reaping the benefits of that job, and then you can start expanding and fiddling around with different things. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know it was kind of short, but I wanted to give you a set roadmap, and I wanted to get straight to the point. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. Please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.